Hello and a very warm welcome. In today's video, we're going to talk improvements. If I was in charge, what would F1 be like? If I was replacing Domenicali. So, comment down below if this was your idea. I cannot remember who gave me this idea, but it's on my list. So, someone must have gave me this idea. Yeah, where do you start? For me, F1 is in quite a bad place at the minute. Um, you go from penalties, people passing off track, they don't get a penalty. You go off the track, you get a penalty. It's a mess. Sprint races, you know. So, if I was in charge, I'd go back to the old days. So, we start with the weekend in general. Practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, qualifying the race. That works, and I would have that in place. I would even prefer to go back when we used to have an hour qualifying than what we have now. What we have now is shocking with the sprint races. The sprint races are just, it's what's the words? It's just paper in like the cracks. Yeah, carrying on, a German Grand Prix, that is straight away what I would introduce. A German race, and I would make it one race per country. So none of this 2 races in Italy, 3 races in the US. One country, one race. So England, Silverstone, Germany, Hockenheim, Italy, Monza. Um, that is something I would implement straight away. Also, another thing I would implement is 5 like street circuits on the calendar because there's too many at the minute. So there's got to be a compromise there. Yes, I would just put 5 like Monaco, Baku, whatever. But yeah. Then obviously you would go louder engines. F1 is too quiet at the minute, and in a couple of years we'll be going electric, which is it will be buzzing around like bumblebees, like Formula E, which is full of Formula One rejects. So yeah, louder engines have to return. They won't return because it's all, oh, got to protect the environment. Sebastian Vettel's done a good idea actually. What was it? Race with Trace or Race for Trace? He's been running around in the old Williams and the old McLaren, and he's been using, I forget what it was, sustainable fuel or something. So that may be an idea. So yeah, louder engines must return. And also, I would include 2 more teams if I was in charge to give more drivers opportunities. I'm seeing the likes of Teo Pourchaire, who's probably ready for Formula One, and he's not given an opportunity because Alfa Romeo were keeping Guan Yu Zhou. So, yeah, I would include 2 more teams like we saw in 2012, so we've got 24 on the grid. Yeah. Another thing, I would make cheaper tickets for the public. Now, we know in the UK, and pretty much it's impossible. I mean, I went to the shop the other day, totally off subject, bought a bottle of ketchup, which is tomato sauce, if you're not from the UK, £4, shocking. I mean, the Silverstone tickets, Silverstone is a great weekend, but it's too expensive and it's too overcrowded at the minute. So you need to make the tickets cheaper and you need to build more like grandstands. Yeah, it looks like this year, for example, at Silverstone, it looked way too overcrowded for me. Not enough stands and too overcrowded. They're trying to get the numbers in. So yeah, I would make cheaper tickets. And yeah, all in all, a better weekend round. Make it more accessible to the fans. Like, give 100 tickets away every weekend so the fans can go in the pit lane. I'd rather see the fans in the pit lane than the celebrities. Get a couple of fans on the grid. Get Martin Brundle to interview a couple of fans. I would ban, I think I would, I'd ban the celebrities from attending Formula One races. They have no respect. They don't give a toss about Formula One. You only have to look that time when Martin Brundle went viral. Serena, have you got a word? Martin Brundle, Sky F1. And then you have this big ass bouncer just like, no, no. Then it goes viral. So yeah, I would ban celebrities permanently. And yeah, less cringe on the Formula One scene. For example, was it Miami? Where they were like, and next up, Yuki Tsunoda, and they come out like bloody, like these NFL, like wrestling almost. It was embarrassing. Less cringe, forcing diversity, forget that, concentrate on racing, what we're here to do. We need a good show in Formula One. At the minute, we've got Red Bull dominating, no fault of their own, but we need more competition. That's why I would include 2 more teams, give drivers an opportunity. And I think this is a big one. I've got it here. Cigarette sponsors. I miss seeing them on the car. For me, McLaren with West. Brilliant. The Jordan, Benson and Hedges. The Ferrari with Marlboro. The cigarette sponsors were so cool. I would, if I could, I would bring them back as well. But yeah, these are just a couple of changes. Obviously, I'm going to miss some. I'd ban sprint races permanently. They're a waste of time. They're artificial. That's the word I'm looking for. Artificial. And yeah, I would just keep it. There's an old saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, the weekend format works for me. And I would be keeping it as it is and not changing it. Sprint races are shit. Usually. There was a good one round Spa, but one good sprint race in about 20 is not for me. Comment down below, what would you change if you had the power? A couple, I would ban celebrities, less cringe, forcing diversity, that shit needs to stop. Yeah, louder engines, I think that'll be on most people's list. Germany race, ban sprint races, 1 race per country, include 2 more teams to create basically 4 more seats for drivers, cheaper tickets, and yeah, I would love to see the cigarette sponsors return. And one, if I was in charge of McLaren, I would be having no orange papaya stuff. McLaren would be going back to the red and white McLaren if I was in charge of McLaren. McLaren should be having a better livery than they have at the minute, in my view. Comment down below what you would improve. This could be interesting. I mean, let's be real. I could be here for 2 days, 4 hours and 24 minutes, but I haven't got that much time. But unfortunately, I think F1 is in quite a bad state at the minute under Domenicali's leadership.